I'm Austin and this is Pickleball Playbook. Welcome to another episode of the series, How to Serve Like Your Favorite Pro. You already know who we're talking about today, the GOAT of Pickleball, Ben Johns. We're gonna start by going over his grip, then talk about his load up, his swing path, and then finish by talking about his follow through, probably the most important part. So before we talk about Ben's grip, we're gonna talk about something that sets him up to hit a consistent serve every single time. This is the most important part because it's gonna set you up for future success. And that is that he bounces the ball. A lot of people will hear that and a lot of people will see pros bounce the ball, but they don't think much of it. But it's what they're doing in their mind that really matters. So as he's bouncing the ball, or as you bounce the ball, you wanna focus on hitting a particular spot on the court. Maybe there's a little skid mark, maybe there's a little indent in the court, maybe there's a slight discoloration at one spot. There's actually a black speck right here. You guys obviously can't see it from where you're at. But you wanna focus on hitting that black speck every single time that you bounce the ball. And he'll bounce the ball 5 to 7 times every single time. This has multiple benefits, but the main ones is that it's gonna help him to get in the zone, okay? He's gonna leave whatever happened during the last point in the past and be able to just focus on the present, what's happening now, and maybe create a game plan in his mind. So it gets him in the zone. It also helps him to now hit the sweet spot of his paddle very simply and easily. Because as he's hitting that fine, tiny spot on the court, aim small, miss small, right? That's helping him to now, it'll be really easy to hit the sweet spot of his paddle. And then the last thing is kind of a mind games thing. As he takes his time, which some pros do and some pros don't, his opponent is now thinking, oh, I gotta get ready because Ben's already bouncing the ball. He'll typically start bouncing before his opponent is even ready to return the ball. And so it adds that applied pressure to make them hurry and get ready. And now the butterflies start coming, regardless of if they're a pro or if they're just an amateur player. So it has those 3 benefits. Sweet spot helps you get in the zone, and it's applying pressure to your opponent. And so this is what makes his serve so consistent, and not just his serve, but all of his shots after the serve. So now that we know that, let's talk about the grip that Ben holds. So he holds an Eastern forehand grip. I'm gonna show you guys how to find the Eastern forehand really simply and easily right now. Put your paddle so that the face of it is facing towards the sky, and put your butt cap so that it's towards yourself. I'm gonna put it towards you guys so that you can see a little bit better. This is bevel number 1 right here. Bevel number 2, 3, 4, there's 8 total bevels. You wanna put the inside of your index knuckle right here and the bottom of your palm on that bevel number 1. So just to show you guys one more time, bevel number 1 is this one up top. So it comes along here, this flat part of the face. Put that index knuckle and the bottom of your palm in that exact spot. So that's the grip that he holds. This is what it looks like from this position. This is what it looks like from this position. That's gonna allow him to be able to get his paddle face slightly downwards so that he can create more topspin on the ball. Okay, now we're gonna talk about Ben's load up as he prepares to hit the shot. So we already talked about he's bouncing the ball. The first thing that he'll do is he'll put his non-dominant toe and point it towards the opponent, wherever the opponent is. So since the opponent is cross court, he's pointing it towards that opponent that's gonna return. He's bouncing the ball, and then he's gonna sandwich the ball in between his hand and his paddle out in front of him like this. He's then pointing the tip of his paddle towards his opponent as well as his eyes are towards his opponent. At this moment, he's going to look up. So just to show you what that looks like, he's bouncing down here, making sure his opponent's there, and then sandwich. And now everything is in alignment towards where he wants to go. This is gonna help him to be more consistent. So arms are straight, everything's out in front of us, and he's pointing here. And now it comes down to the actual load up. For that actual load up, he's gonna create a smiley face. So he goes from high to low to high for his load up. A lot of pros, I mean, almost every single one will actually do the exact opposite. They'll do a frowny face before they hit into the ball. Someone like Tyson McGuffin's a good example. He does a smiley face, and then as he swings, he does the smiley face back. So to show you guys, we're here bouncing. He comes here, and then he's going to dip down, and that's his load up. Simple as that. So he goes down, and then he comes back up. So just to show you guys from a side angle, if I were serving this way, point towards my opponent, down, and this is his exact load up. And notice how those knees bend. Particularly his front knee is going to bend as he moves forward into the actual shot. So I'm here, point the tip of my paddle where I want to go, and I'm coming back. Last thing to note with this, his paddle is vertical when he sandwiches, and then from that point onward, it's always pointing downwards, downwards, downwards. And then it's pointing towards the side fence at the very end. So tip here is pointing directly towards the side fence if he were serving this way. Okay, so now that we're at the top of the smiley face, let's talk about the swing path that he has. So the first thing that he's gonna do is he's gonna dip his front knee. So that knee that's out in front, notice how he's serving with a closed stance. He's not open like someone like Tyson McGuffin. He's closed, so his non-dominant leg is gonna be out in front. He dips that non-dominant leg, and that's going to automatically put his paddle downwards, okay? So all that weight is coming back, and then he's going to swing forward. And a motion is outwards and upwards. You'll hear from a lot of people, low to high, low to high. But the motion isn't low to high. It's outwards and upwards. So we come all the way out and up, kind of on an angle. And so what he's gonna be doing is that smiley face that he did backwards, he's now going to do that exact smiley face forwards with a little bit of a follow through. So at the top of the smiley face, tip of the paddle pointing towards where we wanna go, we dip that front knee. All we have to focus on. That dips and we lean back, and then he's going to pull with his butt cap facing towards the net. Center of the net, butt cap towards the center of the net. He's gonna act like he's pulling a rope, just like this. That's gonna create the lag so that he can snap through his shot. So we're here, drop that knee, we're leaning, boom, butt cap is showing. We're showing our opponents our butt cap. And then he's going from tip of paddle down at contact to tip of paddle up after contact. So notice how the tip of the paddle goes down to up after contact. So we're here, then we just follow that smiley face, outwards and upwards, tip of the paddle up, down to the tip of the paddle up. And now we've made it to where we need to talk about the follow through, which like I said before is the most essential part, because if we don't follow through the shot with our legs and our paddle, then we won't have enough power and we won't have enough spin to bring the ball back down. So for his follow through, his wrist is going to be really relaxed throughout the entire motion. So he's here, it's down, it's obviously relaxed. He makes contact. He's relaxing it, but it's naturally going to go backwards at contact. He hits the ball, he's flush with it, he's coming outwards and upwards. And then he's finishing by pointing his elbow towards his target. And his non-dominant leg is then going to swing forward through the motion. So when all of this comes together, he's pointing towards the target now with his dominant leg as well as his dominant elbow, pointing towards where he wants to go. Paddle's going to finish all the way around his head, just like this, and it's going to be relatively flat as it finishes. A lot of players will finish here. He finishes here, which indicates that he's just getting a ton of spin as he comes through the ball, and he's also extremely relaxed. So, to go over the entire serve really quickly, we're here bouncing the ball, toes pointing towards where I want to go, my head is pointing towards where I want to go, and now my paddle is smiley face, and I'm finishing way up here, my elbow pointing towards where I want to go, and that leg, as I hit, is swinging forward to where right after I make contact, it steps into the court, and he's obviously stepping back and coming back into his ready position. So this can definitely be a very difficult serve to learn. What I would suggest to you guys is watch the video as many times as you possibly can so that you can get the entire motion down, and then just watch Ben hitting his serve over and over again in slow-mo. That's the way that most people learn, is just through visuals and seeing it actually happen. But I'd say the key takeaways is make sure that you have a routine before so that you can be consistent when hitting your serve, and also stay relaxed throughout your entire motion. If you ever get firm at any point, you're gonna lose out on power, you're gonna lose out on spin. A lot of the time when we wanna hit hard, we'll get super firm. But if you think about a pitcher or even a quarterback, in order for them to throw far, they have to keep that arm relaxed like a noodle, like a whip motion. And that's how they're gonna end up getting all of that power on their serve. So I hope that you guys enjoyed that. Like I said before, be sure to subscribe and watch this video right here if you haven't already. It's all about Tyson McGuffin and how you can do his serve. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.